Hello, Gabrielle Breathnach here. Hope you're keeping well. In today's episode of Discovery Drama, I have a great treat for you. I'm going to be chatting to the actress Hilda Fay. Hilda is one of Ireland's most talented actresses of her generation. She has such a brilliant spirit, such an infectious, joyful personality. Hilda has worked successfully in lead roles on both stage and screen for the last 30 years, and she was just nominated for an IFTA for her role in the BBC drama The Woman in the Wall. And she's just returned from a US and a Irish tour of the Drood trilogy of Seán O'Casey plays, and she played lead roles there. She played Betsy Burgess and Juno, and she's going to come to our masterclass and she's going to deliver a brilliant masterclass all about Seán O'Casey. We chat about how Seán O'Casey is so relevant to us 100 years later. His themes are still so universal. We're really looking forward to seeing you there on the day, and really grateful if you could follow us here and subscribe on discoverydrama.ie to stay updated and find out about future masterclasses, and really to give us...
Can you hear me, Gabs?
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, brilliant.
I can hear you. How are you, love?
I'm good, I'm good.
Good morning, Hilda.
Good morning, Gabrielle.
It's lovely to hear your sweet tones first thing in the morning.
My dulcet Dublin town.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So listen, to begin with, thank you so much for agreeing to facilitate our next Discovery Drama Masterclass, which will take place in Leinster Cricket Club in Rathmines on May 11th from 10:30 to 4 p.m. So this is our fourth masterclass. So we're all really looking forward to really getting into these masterclasses, Hilda. They're really nice. We've created a lovely community, really welcoming, and everybody is so interested to hear your story, just to meet you. I mean, Hilda Fay, what can we say? I mean, Hilda, you've been a friend of mine for a long time, but I forget all the different things that you've done. You've done so much theatre over the years, and so much TV and so much film. So you have a wealth of experience to bring into the room with us. And not only do you have talent, you're also a beautiful girl, a lovely girl, and great fun and a great spirit. So we're all really looking forward to it. But I just wanted to, so I kind of asked you to come in and do this masterclass, and I said, look, Hilda, you have so much experience. What would you like to focus on? Because you could actually do it on anything. You could do it on TV, film, you could do Shakespeare, but you actually were thinking about O'Casey. So that was no surprise to me and makes absolute sense. So do you want to tell us a little bit about Seán O'Casey and the works of Seán O'Casey, and how you became interested in Seán O'Casey?
I think the reason as well, Gabrielle, I chose to do the talk about O'Casey is, I suppose, because I'm fresh off that tour that I did, the Drood trilogies last year, and I gave that like 7 months of my life.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about that tour. Would you mind, Hilda?
Yeah, well.
So how many plays? So the trilogy, you did the 3 plays. So which plays did you do?
I did, well, I've done O'Casey before. In the centenary year, I played Betsy Burgess in the North America Abbey Theatre production of The Plough and the Stars, and I toured all around America doing that, and then I toured all around, and we brought it to Hammersmith as well.
Brilliant.
So would you believe Paul Mescal was in that production?
Oh my God, who did he play?
Up in there. But so then Gary came. She had the rights, and she asked me.
When you say Gary, you mean Gary Hines,
Gary Hines, yeah. She had the rights for a long time, and it was her dream. It was her lifelong dream. She'd been thinking about this for 30 years, and she wanted to put the 3 of them together, because you know the way she works. She does the cycles.
Yeah.
And so she wanted to put the 3 plays together, and she asked me to play Juno and Bessie, probably the 2 of the most iconic female characters in that canon. Wow. So, and I'd never worked with Drood before. It was a totally new experience. It was like 17 fabulous actors in it. Yeah. And like she'd tested out the plays before. She did the 3 one-act comedies, which I think myself and yourself went to go and see.
Saw that in the pavilion, yeah. Very, yeah.
So she did them as a kind of a warm up to test out the tone and how she was going to present the plays. So I think she got an awful lot from those productions. So it was very much decided about the style they were going to present these plays in before I came to the table. So it was just really fitting into what her vision and the lads' vision was for this production.
Yeah.
But it was an incredible experience.
Wow. So you kind of worked as an ensemble, is that right? So you all dipped in and out of every play. Well, I know you just did 2 of them, but a lot of the actors were in every play. Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of the actors were in every play. Some people were just in one play. Some people were in 2 plays.
Yeah.
But it was a huge undertaking, an absolute huge undertaking to rehearse it in 10 weeks. But it's a fulfilling one, I think, of my career, because I have such an attachment to O'Casey. I'm a Dublin girl, for generation. My grandfather would have been from a tenement, and so it felt more important to me, or I felt close to it because I had a history. And my parents lived down in East Wall where O'Casey lived.
Yeah.
My mother lives on the same road as the O'Casey Theatre. So there was a lot of, there was a lot of personal.
There's a lot of feeling for you around that. And it kind of a lovely thing too, because it's like, you've been an actor for so long, but to delve into that world and bring in the stories of your past, kind of like full circle. Would that be right?
Yeah, I think probably they're the most unique. They say they're the most unique stories because never has a story been told so close to actual events. And that's what makes his story so unique, because he was around of the time of the Easter Rising and the War of Independence. He was, he was actually from a tenement himself. He was reared in poverty himself. So he knew the people he was writing about. He knew the characters he was writing about. And so it was very close to him also, and his political beliefs.
Yeah. And there were
they're probably 3 of the best plays ever written.
I agree.
Because you get a sense when you tour them around the world that they're universal. They're about war. They're about the impact of war. They're about the impact on families and communities. And so, I think these plays, as long as there's war happening in the world, these plays will go on and on and on and on.
So relevant. And you're so right. I mean, they do transfer to other countries and other cultures. I mean,
oh my God, they're so relevant today. They stand the test of time. And what he does is he writes such brilliant characters, and his language is so beautiful. And there's humor. They're tragic comedies, so there's humor very close to the tragedies. And they're just so skillfully written.
They're so skillfully, and I love he makes heroes out of just the ordinary person. The mother.
What I love is he makes the heroes out of the women.
Yeah.
And at that time, they weren't raising up women. Women have very little rights, and what he did was he put them front and center of his stories, which that's why I think I really love them as well.
No, they're beautiful, and just even being there, I saw you in the Abbey when it was in the Abbey, the trilogy, and we had a whole day out, myself, and my best friend and Sinead, and we just couldn't believe it. Like, we were just brought back 100 years ago, and I came out of that just being so grateful. I was so delighted with your performance, but with Seán O'Casey, that he had done that, left that for us,
left that for us. And to be honest, I brought my children to it.
Yeah.
Now, they didn't do the whole trilogy, but they went up to Belfast. They seen one in the Abbey, and they seen one down in Galway. But it was a brilliant, concise history of what our country has been through. And for that, I just, it's a gift. It's an absolute gift, because he tells it in a way that's accessible and that's funny, and but it's not too long ago. It's like only 100 years ago, or over 100 years ago, that this happened in our country, and we fought for our freedom. And what I never want to forget those people.
Yeah, no,
I never want to forget the fight and the sacrifice and the torment that was in this country, and what they gave back to us.
Yeah.
And we should never forget. And through those plays, we'll never forget.
Never forget, yeah. And the resilience, the way they just kept going. Absolutely.
Kept going.
Yeah. Amazing. So can I just ask you, I know you went to America with it. You were in New York, and where else did you go in the States?
Oh my God, we were all over North America. We were in Ann Arbor. We were in New York.
And can I ask, how did it,
Philadelphia.
how was it
New Orleans.
received in America? How is it received with the American audience?
Oh,
Just,
well, they obviously, like, they identified with it. It's a universal story. They love the Irish over there and they love O'Casey.
yeah,
It was received very well. I think the first production, the Abbey production I did in 2017, it was very modernised. Sean Holmes directed it, and it was all, there was no tenements, it was scaffolding, there was rock music. We were all in contemporary costumes, but it didn't touch the language. Now, I think that production, it was a lot for people to get their heads around because they were looking to see that they were looking to expect the traditional Irish costumes, the shawl and the skirt. And
yeah, the
having
cast.
said that,
Yeah.
the production still stood strong because the language and the stories and the characters were so strong and vibrant and colourful.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Gary did as well in this production. Like, she stripped back the set. I thought the set was so clever.
Yeah.
Like, we had a set that was going to France's, her part collaborator. He designed an amazing set, and that could be used for each of the plays and could travel as well. And he stripped it all back, so it was just really the characters were popping and the costumes were popping
Yeah.
and
Well,
language, which is
it was,
really the essence of it.
yeah, it was an amazing production. So just back to our masterclass on
Yes.
May the 11th. So can I ask you, so the people who are coming, I mean, there's a few people who are Irish who are familiar with Seán O'Casey. I mean, a lot
Yeah.
of us studied O'Casey in school, but there might
Yeah.
be, there's a lot. We've a lovely group of, people international from Italy and the States and maybe even Japan who maybe have never heard of Seán O'Casey. Would you?
Yeah.
Would
Well,
you?
I suppose the main thing is, like, we'll start off with a bit of a history about Seán O'Casey,
Yeah,
who he was, where he came from, his politics, the plays, the effect the plays had on, who helped him to write the plays, and his journey. I think that would be interesting history, and a history of the times and how the Dublin people were living and the economy at the time. And I think that's all really interesting to know about, maybe about my history in Dublin, why
yeah,
I want to do the plays. I'll read some passages. We'll look at the text
yeah,
and try and interpret the language. The
yeah,
language is quite a difficult aspect of it, for some people. It's so poetic and his sentences are so long.
yeah,
Um, but like, I did enjoy Gary's uh, take on it in the rehearsal room. We worked very hard on getting the language really precise.
yeah,
When there was a comma, there was a comma. When there was full stop, there was a
yeah,
full stop.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it was like the Bible, the script.
Brilliant.
So yeah, and maybe take all the students back into that world.
Back into the time, yeah, that's what I imagine. That we'll be able to go into the past, go into the tenements, imagine what it was like to wake up there in the morning, a day in the life of a person living in the tenements,
Yeah.
and then we'd be really happy then if we could go into the text and have a look at maybe some of the key scenes in the play as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, so that
Really exciting. It's really brilliant. It's so rich. O'Casey is rich in
so
humanity,
there's so
in
much
rich
there,
in
and you know
language.
what? There's so much love in his plays, isn't there, Hilda? Like
Oh,
despite
there's so
all
much
the
love.
hardship, it's the love
And
that
I
carries.
think his plays are very fair as well, because he all the different characters have different perspectives and
Yeah,
different politics
yeah,
and different religions.
yeah,
And he's certainly playing the stars, which I think is probably his finest, I would say, his finest piece of work.
yeah.
He looks at every perspective, which is really interesting.
Okay, okay. And Hilda, I'm going to let you go now shortly, but normally what and actually I forgot to tell you this, but normally I ask the actor to do a little piece from the play or from a poem or to read something. But in this case, I'm actually going to ask you to hold off
Oh,
because
great.
you,
I'm just looking around my room as we speak on. Have I got a copy of O'Casey?
yeah. So what I'm going to ask you to do at the end of the masterclass as a kind of a little treat, you might do one or two of the monologues from the piece for us.
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
Well, that and we would love that. I mean, that would be
Yeah.
a real
Yeah.
privilege to have you in the room, and a kind
Maybe you could read opposite me, Gabrielle.
I
Wouldn't
would
that
be
be?
delighted to read opposite you,
Yeah.
but a kind of a mini performance. So we
Yeah.
better get into rehearsal mode for that now. Now that we're promising that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to meeting all the students, and we're going to have a lovely time.
We'll have a great time, and it'll be everybody is so welcome, and yeah, we'll have great fun, which would be the most thing. There's always laughs when we're together, so we'll have
Yeah.
a good day. So listen, Hilda, thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of your day, and yeah, and we'll talk very soon. We'll be in touch.
Right. I look forward to seeing you all. Thank you very much, Gabrielle.
All
It's
right,
nice.
Hilda, lots of love, darling. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.